You got to go back to Tucson, 1997 NCAA Tournament second round. Stanford beats Wake in what would be Tim Duncan's last game as a Demon Deacon.
Duncan was absolutely fantastic in that one too. More on that later. Oh, we got a little, someone forgot to start the clock off the game clock here. But yeah, Duncan 18 points, 20 boards in that one.
Maybe the clock operator needed to hear it in French as well. Stanford will control. It is a team coming off back-to-back home wins last week against Virginia Tech and Virginia. They're looking for their first ACC road win. They have not won on the East Coast so far. Losses at Clemson and Pitt. Got here on Monday. They'll stay here all week with a game at North Carolina on Saturday. Looking for Raynaud. Comes back out to the Duke transfer. Jalen Blakes. Here is Raynaud, 42 in red. Maneuvering on Efton Reed. The soft touch. And as advertised.
Yeah, and as you see, the ability to put the ball on the floor, spin, move, ambidextrous. He's really good at shooting the ball with both hands around the basket, inside that painted area. Reed's got his work cut out for him, and Reed must stay out of foul trouble.
Tyler Johnson making his fourth straight start at point guard for Wake. Demon Deacons 3-0 with him as a starter. Sallis, one of the top scorers in the ACC, and you've got Hildreth, who had 31 last time out against Miami. Ryan Agarwal knocks down the three. They've been waiting for that three-point shot to come around. Oziyah Sellers, the USC transfer, 52% from deep in conference. And then, of course, you got Raynaud and Donovan Young, the freshman, making his second straight start. Efton Reed, great position down low, and draws the foul on the redshirt sophomore Agarwal.
Well, the start that Stanford won, at least on their first couple possessions, exactly what they got the bucket inside, and then get out in transition and knock down a triple. This team outscores opponents by over 5 in the first half. So they need a fast start because they don't finish as well as they start. First two possessions were absolutely fantastic.
Efton Reed gets the first. And for Reed, it's simple for him. He's got to stay on the floor and avoid the silly fouls.
It is, and it's not the fouls when you're challenging the big fellas underneath or going for an offensive rebound. He gets in trouble, fouls 80 feet away from him, sometimes playing defense. And it puts a lot of pressure on Wake then to have a big body and a big presence inside. But look at Wake, picking up full court pressure here.
Yeah, it's going to be something to watch. Wake wants to play fast. They want to play with some tempo. That's going to test the Stanford team, which doesn't have a ton of depth.
Well, we had a chance to speak with the coach before the game, and he says that they lack a lot of depth. They had to get it from their starters.
Blakes, the three. He knocks it down. How about Jalen Blakes? 14.5 per game this year in his 3 seasons at Duke. Never averaged even 3.5 points a game.
Well, I just like Stanford, the way they broke that trap and then took their time in the half-court execution and found their shooter right up behind the arc.
Sallis leaning in, coming off 5 straight 20-point games.
Well, you're seeing what Sallis loves to do, right? Get in that painted area. If he doesn't get the easy basket, he draws fouls. He gets an opportunity then to get to that free throw line.
Hildreth knocks it away from Raynaud. Hildreth gets it back. A tap not there. Raynaud snags the rebound.
Oh.
Averages more than 11 a game.
Maybe some defensive goaltending there.
Blakes the three over Sallis. 2 triples for Jalen Blakes. One of the most improved players in the country. We knew what he could do on defense. His offense has been a surprise even to his head coach, Kyle Smith.
Well, and he's a thief on defense as well. Over 2 steals a game.
Sallis gets free from Sellers. And interesting, Stanford comes out with Sellers on Sallis. We expect to see Blakes at some point pick up Hunter Sallis.
Yeah, and you see right now Raynaud doing a great job getting on that defensive glass. And again, another drive inside, earning another trip to the free throw line.
The foul is on Hildreth.
Look at this right here, scoring improvement. You can see last season at Duke, less than 2 points a game. And then this year, the explosion. A lot more confidence from the coaching staff, and 14.5 points per game. I've never seen anything like that before.
And when you throw in the 5 assists and the 2+ steals, that's the stat line with the 14.5 points that's reminiscent of a Stanford guard from many years ago in Brevin Knight.
Yeah, Coach did exactly. Brevin Knight owns 4 of the top steals records per season, and for the first time now, he had a chance to break into that. He's got 33 on the season already in 16 games. Are you kidding me?
He got to the free throw line, something he does very well. Hildreth over to Reed, going hard at Raynaud, and 1.
Wow, nice court vision, sharing the basketball, and then big Reed, 250 pounds, 7'1", putting that left shoulder right into the shot blocker, and draws that foul on Raynaud. Look at it one more time. Just a hesitation, a little pump fake. You got to utilize that pump fake more. I'd like to see more kids do that around the basket. Get that defender up in the air when he's coming down. You just go right into his chest. Chance to get the old-fashioned 3-point play.
Reed has 5 of the 7 for Wake. 3 for 3 at the line, and Deacs picking up Stanford full court.
Yeah, I watched them in practice on Monday. Energetic group, high energy. Love playing for Coach Forbes.
Lake says 8, guarded by Tyler Johnson, who's got active hands. Oziyah Sellers down low. Here's the double. Raynaud, skip pass, Agarwal. That one rattles out. Offensive rebound, Young, blocked. This is a Wake Forest team. They're not yet into that next 4-out or first 4-out group for Joe Lenardi, as Spillers does work down low. But they've got Stanford today, Virginia Tech on the road Saturday. If they hold serve in those games, then they've got their opportunities with Carolina, Duke, Louisville, and Pitt as the next 4. And Sellers knocks down the jumper. He's been shooting it well in conference play this year.
Well, Spillers on the glass on defense, Spillers on the glass on offense. They're getting their buckets inside, but they're not finding these Stanford shooters in transition.
There's Cam Hildreth, 31 points in the win Saturday against Miami. Hit 6 threes in that game.
He was absolutely on fire. Second time for his career going over the 30-point plateau.
Great ball movement. Donovan Young's 3 rattles out.
I thought you told me Stanford was going to walk the ball up and down the floor. This is fast and furious.
Yeah, they are going fast. Kyle Smith worried a little bit about the depth, but early on, this game's got a nice pace. Tyler Johnson beating Donovan Young. There's that quickness from the sophomore.
Good ball handling, rejected the screen. Defense thought he was going to come back over to the top, and he goes back along that baseline for a quick 2.
Raynaud setting the high screen. Sellers using the shot fake, less than 10 to shoot. Lakes has provided early offense, contested shot blocked. Wake has hit its last 3 from the field. Hildreth bobbing, weaving, using the 10. Offensive rebound, Reed doesn't go, and it's snatched away by the freshman Young, who's missed 10 games with a foot injury this year.
Stanford's got to do a better job on their own defensive glass. A couple of offensive rebounds now for Wake.
Raynaud misfires. The teams have to be a little gassed. Media timeout was supposed to be under 16. We have not had a whistle. Tyler Johnson shaking, baking, can't connect.
Well, better job that time by the Cardinal, keeping the guys in the white shirt out of the painted area. But you're right, both teams a little winded at this point as the pace has slowed down here. I think at the next stoppage of play, we'll get a break.
Blakes, and there is the whistle. Blakes to the free throw line. Both teams get the much needed under 16 media timeout. second round 97 NCAA Tournament. Head coaches were Dave Odom and Mike Montgomery. Tim Duncan, 18 points, 20 rebounds in his final game as a Demon Deacon. Tre'Von Knight paced Stanford. Mark Batson, former Stanford Cardinal, now the head coach at Cal, also on that Stanford team. And Tim Duncan's daughter, Sydney, happens to be a volleyball player for Stanford. So there's a connection between both schools.
I love that. The big fundamental. What, he's got 5 rings. Madsen's got a couple. Tre'Von Knight might be. I'm not sure if Tre'Von Knight got himself a ring in the NBA, but you know what a game that was by Tre'Von Knight, and of course Tim Duncan, Mr. Fundamental, went on to be a Hall of Famer in the NBA.
And a lot of the Wake Forest contingent will scream that Tim Duncan was fouled a lot in that game, and a lot of those fouls were not called.
Well,
different time, different era, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Deacs off to a terrific start for Stanford. He's got 9 of the 16 for the Cardinal.
Yeah, 3 of 5 shooting, doing a great job, making himself available, getting behind that arc in transition.
Now he picks up Sallis. Blake's is their best on-ball defender. Parker Frederickson, Spillers, back iron on the 3, just 5 of 17 on the season now.
Great job defensively by Stanford, keeping that ball out there on the perimeter, did not allow Sallis to slash to the basket.
Raynaud, such a good passer. Out of the post, Sellers left it way short. And it'll be Wake ball.
Well, when I was at practice on Monday, the big emphasis for Wake Forest was get to Raynaud on pass. They were not going to allow him to have any opportunity to start putting the ball on the floor and operating against just one defender. And then in that full rotation as fast as you can to get out along the perimeter and find the shooters.
Juke Harris, talented freshman from Salisbury, North Carolina, in the game for Wake. As we get another whistle, the foul is on Benny Keeler, former walk-on from Palos Verdes Estates in California.
Yeah, can I just say something about Keeler real quick? I got to watch their practice on Tuesday. The kid did not miss. He is a shooter. He strokes it from the outside. He's a hustler, scrappy little player. Look for him to get some shots up in this game from behind the arc.
He was put on scholarship last season, and again, former walk-on, really played his way into the rotation a year ago. Harris, explosive, and rewarded.
How quick was Harris's first step to gain the advantage on the defender? It puts too much pressure on the back line of that defense when you start driving it down there around the block.
And that is 2 fouls now on Maxime Raynaud, so mark it down. Again, for a big guy, he plays 34 minutes a game. How much trust does Kyle Smith have in his senior to keep him out there, or is it an early bench call? It is.
Yeah, you got to get him out of the game. Just let him settle down a little bit. We talked about his parents being in the house tonight. Maybe a little extra nervous energy for Raynaud. And I think Coach Smith just say, hey, come on down here, simmer down a little bit. We'll get you back in somewhere around at the 7 or 8 minute mark.
Opportunity for Wake now with Stanford's best player on the bench with 2 fouls. Chisholm Akpara, Harvard transfer, looking for Aiden Kamen. Ball on the ground. Shot clock down to 5. Off the hands of Sellers. Hildreth the steal.
Well, you can see that first offensive possession without Raynaud, that they did not know where to go.
Sallis ran out of room.
Hey, the officials are letting them play. They're getting bumped around that basket.
Just like 97. Akpara traveled. Getting physical at the Joel. Steve Forbes, Demon Deacons 4-1 in conference play, and really since he's been at the helm, Wake has more than held serve at home. They're one of 2 teams in the ACC undefeated at home this year, 8-0 entering tonight, and in the last 4 years, 55-7 at Lawrence Joel Coliseum.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job. Only Duke with more ACC wins in conference during that stretch. So looking to go 10-0 to start the season for 3 of the last 4 seasons. And yeah, that's you get a nice little home court advantage in here, and bring that Deacon in here on that motorcycle, and they got the cheerleaders and the band. There's nothing better than college basketball. You
saw it all when you played at North Carolina. Efton Reed now doesn't have to work on Raynaud, going right at Kamen. Harris poked it away, and it extends the possession. They're trying to get the shot clock reset. Reed misfired. Shot clock should have reset to 30 because Stanford had possession. It only reset to 20, and one of the officials is trying to get the attention of the shot clock operator. They don't stop play. Yeah,
when you ask me how does Wake attack now that Raynaud is out, you see the emphasis with Reed attacking inside. You're also going to see Spillers looking to do some damage inside as well.
Keeler's 3 is knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Stanford, fresh 20. Defensively, too, you were at practice on Monday. We were at shoot-around today. So much of Wake's emphasis was around what to do with Maxime Raynaud. Now he's out of the game. So that changes the calculus on defense.
Yeah, and they're doing a nice job right now, too, just staying at home and playing. Oh, that was a charge and not called. I tell you what, these officials are letting them bang bodies. I like that transition by Wake. Get the ball off the basket, run the other way, get the bucket, but the ball will go down and stay with Wake on the baseline out of bounds. But they're going to go inside. It really looked for Sallis to try to attack the basket. When he's on this left corner right here, they're going to ISO, let him operate.
He gets baseline, double teamed. Sallis able to find Juke Harris. Fredrickson down low. Hildreth likes to post up as a guard. There's the double. Hildreth somehow slipped through it. Another offensive rebound.
Wake has killed him with these second chance opportunities.
Air ball from Hildreth. Unable to take advantage. 3 possessions essentially in 1.
Yeah, he got good looks down so low. He got a wide open look along that right baseline. He got to knock down 6 triples in their last game when they went on to win 88 points. Right now, Wake Forest stuck on 13.
Agarwal with his second 3. Redshirt sophomore with 9 points, along with 7 rebounds and 6 helpers in the win against Virginia on Saturday.
I like Ryan. I tell you what, you practice hard, good things happen for you in the course of the basketball game, and that's exactly what that young man did yesterday. He put his hard hat, he brought his lunch pail, and he went to work in practice, and now he comes out here and strokes a couple from the outside.
Keeler picks up his second foul. He heads to the bench. Now Wake Forest 0 for 3 from long range today. They've been better of late shooting it from the outside. It's been a season-long struggle, and a part of that is a little baffling. Hunter Sallis, again, who's been better of late, 29% from 3 this season, 41% last year. Parker Fredrickson came to Wake with a reputation as a three-point shooter. He's been in a season-long slump. This is a better three-point shooting team than it's shown, but at some point, the sample size adds up.
And he turns it over there, and look at the quickness in which Stanford gets out in transition, goes there and draws the foul. Sallis right now, he's so much attack mode. He's always in attack mode. Right now, maybe over-penetrating, and he lost that ball.
First foul on Tyler Johnson. Oziyah Sellers at the free throw line.
Those nice looking green shoes.
Hey, we got a good one for you between 2 of the nation's best on Saturday, noon Eastern, ESPN. It's Alabama and Kentucky, 4 versus 8. You turn it on in the SEC. Every night it seems it's top 10, top 15, top 20 matchup.
The SEC is loaded this year. I'll tell you what, you got about 9 or 10 teams over there that can absolutely flat out get it done. That's a fun conference to watch.
A lot of dribbling by Johnson. Let's see if they go back inside to Reed. They do. Help coming from the backside. Agarwal nearly stole it away. And Reed with premium position.
There. He just used that big frame, 7'1", 200. They list him at 250. I think the kid probably calls it about 265. He just put his left shoulder and his left cheek right into the defender and just trucked him right up underneath the basket and went up strong.
Are you speaking from experience there?
Hey, listen, if he wants a couple more pounds, I got a couple he can add.
Offensive foul on Blakes.
Again, both teams so intent on driving it into the paint that they're a little bit out of control. We've had some turnovers now, and then this one here just runs right through the defender. Give Sallis a lot of credit, right? Sliding those biscuits, getting those Nikes out in front of the driver and taking that charge.
Reed with 7 points to lead Wake Forest. Sallis just 1 of 4 and 2 points in the early going. Johnson shakes Agarwal. Harris fading away. That's not the shot you want there.
Now one-legged step falling away jump shot. Wake Forest just seems discombobulated offensively.
Agarwal, no good. Cannon the rebound. Comes back to Sellers. Sets. Misfires. And we'll get an over-the-back foul on Aiden Cannon. Stanford by 6, looking for its first ACC road win. Maxime Raynaud went to the bench with the score 15-13 and 12-14 to go in the half. He picked up his second foul. In that interim, you wondered how Stanford could weather the storm. Well, they've extended their lead, and it appears he's going to come back into the game with the 2 fouls.
Yeah, we figured around about the 8-minute mark, right? Yeah, bring him back in there, make sure that he can get that third. He'll play probably 5 minutes, and in the 2-minute mark, get him back out of there. But Wake only managed 2 points with Raynaud on the bench. He kept trying to go inside. They came run snake eyes. Now opportunity for Reed, who has been fantastic in this first half, to go back to the free throw line where he's taking three free throws already. But right now, both teams really shooting it poorly from the outside. Stanford is under 40%, and Wake is under 30% for the first part of this game.
Reed misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Wake 1 for its last 11 from the field. Stanford 1 for its last 9.
Yeah, and Wake has not hit a 3 yet. Stanford's already got 4 in the basket.
There is Raynaud, thought about the 3. A computer science major and math minor. Truly a man of all seasons.
Excuse me?
Blake's the tough runner, 11 to lead all scores.
Oh, I tell you, Sellers got away with a bang, 75 feet away from the basket with his team already in the 1-on-1. Yeah, coach wants you to be aggressive defensively, but don't be making any silly fouls out right now. The defense is playing great. Don't allow Wake to go back to the free throw line and try to get some points the easy way.
Stanford with its largest lead of the game. And there's Spillers, App State transfer, who had 17 on Saturday, the most he's had in ACC play.
Yeah, you will see a heavy dose of Spillers and Reed trying to get that 3rd foul on Raynaud before the break. Here's
Shot
that
clock at 8.
Yeah, there's that patient Stanford offense you were talking about.
Parra looking for help. Beats the shot clock, and that did not hit the rim. Violation.
Well, talk about Wake's struggles offensively. Defensively, they have been very solid. Very few opportunities when they've had opportunities to get their defense set. Has Stanford been able to score? It's the transition baskets, the 3-point shots. It's the second chance opportunities. The only time Stanford's really been able to get going. But they've got Raynaud on that launch pad. Hey, look at that Coach Smith. Look at that record down there. He's establishing a culture here at Stanford.
He's been a winner everywhere he's gone. 5 years at Wazoo, winning conference record in his last 3 seasons. And a year ago, he led Washington State to the NCAA Tournament. The last time Wazoo had been dancing, Tony Bennett was the head coach in Pullman.
The Tony Bennett,
Yes.
the Hall of Famer at Virginia?
Yes.
Was that Wazoo? I didn't even realize that.
He succeeded his dad, Dick Bennett.
Yeah, that's been a long time back. So obviously Coach Smith, he knows how to get it done. What do they say? Google me. I'm a winner.
Agarwal picked up his second foul. Smith was at San Francisco. He was at Columbia. 3 straight 20-win seasons with San Fran. With Columbia in the Ivy League, he led the Lions to its highest win totals in the modern era. So he's won everywhere. Season 1 in Palo Alto at Stanford. And again, it's not just your first season with a new team. It's a new league. It's the rigors of travel. He downplayed the travel, but you have to admit, and you have to imagine at some point, once you get late into the season, that has to take a toll on any team, especially when you're coming out to the East Coast for a couple of games every few weeks.
Yeah, sure, less time in the lab in your practice facility as well. You're going to play 20 games over the course of the ACC season. Here right now, all adds up.
Hildreth to Sallis, a long 3. Pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Well, you get a couple free throws, and then you come back the opposite way. They knock down their first triple of the game. You got yourself a 1-point game here. All of a sudden, Wake Forest has got the momentum in this basketball game.
Blakes, Sellers, corner 3, the answer.
Love the extra pass, right? You know, it's that hockey assist. You move that ball from side to side. Defenders cannot move as fast as the pass, and you get a wide open corner pocket triple.
Stanford 5 of 10 from 3. Wake has only attempted 4. They've hit 1. Hildreth contested. Does not get the bounce at home. It's tapped out by Spillers. Sallis wide open. Bang!
Second chance points will kill you every time. It's not the initial shot, you know. You got to get that rebound cleanly. Now you don't want this guy getting hot going to the locker room because he's a fire starter. Once he gets going, it's hard to put him out. Look at this one more time. Just get this pass and knock it over to the right side. You get a little taste of it from the right side. You come back and say, hey, find me over here on the left side. Let me knock down another triple. And this kid, all of a sudden, he gets on a heater. It's going to be bad news for the Tree.
His last 5 games, boy, 55% from the field and not shown 41% from 3. He's one of the best offensive players in the ACC. Meanwhile, Efton Reed, we talked about the fouls, picked up a silly reach and foul. That's his first.
Yeah, 14 foul, 4.5 to play. You know, it'd be one of those things if Stanford could get a couple more fouls, they can go to the line. They're a good free throw shooter, shooting 90% in ACC play.
Trying to get it to Raynaud. Instead, he's denied. Keeler had to launch the 3.
Keeler's got to get that inside. He has 7'1" body down there. Find a way to get it to the big guy.
Hildreth caught a jagged path to the lane, missed. And a tie-up between Sellers and Spillers. Oprah Uma, possession arrow Wake.
I don't want to keep beating it, but Wake Forest is outworking Stanford on the glass right now, and getting these extra opportunities has allowed them to gain the momentum. And like any sport, basketball especially, you get that momentum going to the break, and good things happen to you in the second half.
Yeah, Wake wants to live inside. They're using the offensive glass. 6 offensive rebounds as Raynaud comes out of the game. Remember, he has the 2 fouls.
Yeah, and that's a good opportunity to get him out on defense. Smart play by Coach Smith.
Hildreth against Sellers. Sallis. He's got 8. Got to put it up using the screen. Nothing. And Stanford ball. Stanford a moment ago, led by 9. Wake has closed to within 1.
Scoop and score. The dream season continues.
Ohio State, Notre Dame, can't wait.
The CFP National Championship presented by AT&T begins Monday at 7:30 p.m.
Monday in Atlanta, the Irish and the Buckeyes. Scott, who do you like in the championship?
Give me Notre Dame. And Riley Leonard, we trust, baby. Go Irish.
Now that offensive line, even with some injuries, they held up well. They made the key plays down the stretch. The defense has been strong. Ohio State, I think, has more talent, but there is something about that Notre Dame team.
They're hot.
Cameron spinning on Reed. Lost control of the ball, and if that's a foul on Reed, it is. That's his second.
Well, when you are going against a shot blocker, you cannot fade away because it gives the shot blocker the space that he needs to measure the distance and go block the shot. You got to eat that space up just the way this young man did, go right into the chest of the shot blocker. And even if he gets his hand on the ball, you're getting into his body and you're earning a trip to the line.
And Cameron, not much of a scorer, 3.5 points per game. Did have a career high 9 and 12 minutes on Saturday. So Reed on the bench with 2 fouls. Raynaud on the bench with 2 fouls. Both Keeler and Agarwal for Stanford also have 2 personals.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Ben, you got to be happy right now. You got the lead in the 9th leading scorer in the nation's only got 2 points.
Tyler Johnson finesses that one in.
Yeah, he didn't really score. He's been a little bit more aggressive offensively since he's been getting these starts. And did a nice job working himself right to the free throw line.
Keeler's in there for Stanford. Blake's over Frederickson. Looked good coming out, misfired.
But no penetration. Not with the dribble, not with the pass.
Lightning quick, Tyler Johnson throws it up off the rim. Rebound battle won by Donovan Young. If you're Stanford, you've been able to tread water with your best player on the bench for a lot of this first half, and we get a blocking foul against Wake Forest.
Yeah, Hilbert down there trying to slide along that baseline. Very rarely are you going to get that call, and that's going to be his 2nd personal foul, the 6th team foul now on Wake Forest. Look at one more time. You can just see outside the numbers. Anytime you get to those shoulders and those armpits of the defender, you're going to get that call every time. So nice job putting the pressure on Hilbert there, and he slide those feet. Couldn't not keep up.
So Hildreth to the bench with the 2 fouls. In comes the freshman Juke Harris.
They like Juke Harris.
Yeah.
I was talking to their SIDs. Basically, their 6th man comes in to be very aggressive, slasher, takes the ball to the basket.
And defensively can guard multiple positions, 1 through 4. Johnson defending Blake's. Akpara against the freshman Harris. The Harvard transfer called for the offensive foul.
Well, maybe a little too much shoulder. I think they've been letting them play for 18 minutes, and all of a sudden now throw that right shoulder into the defender. I want to see this one more time. We're down here on this block. Does he establish that position? Yeah, he certainly did. You got to call that one. Went right through the numbers.
Chisholm Akpara, an undersized 4, averaged 16.5 at Harvard last year. One of 3 undergraduate transfers to Stanford. They hadn't had one in the previous 15 years. Johnson tried to fit it in there. Dangerous throw, and we're going to get a foul against Wake Forest. It's on Juke Harris.
Yeah, it's kind of a silly foul. They've been offensively going to that glass, and now this is going to be a situation now where you got a team that's struggling to score, and you put them on the line without their best player on the floor.
Oziyah Sellers at the line for Stanford.
Stanford's got almost 3.5 minutes since its last field goal, and the 1-and-1 gives them a chance at the line. Sellers, 84% makes good. Women's basketball Sunday afternoon doubleheader. You got Stanford taking on number 16 Duke, and then Oklahoma against Dawn Staley's South Carolina Gamecocks, the number 2 team in the country at 3 Eastern. That is Sunday on ESPN2 and ESPN.
With your Demon Deacons, #1, Devin Cosby Jr.
Oziyah Sellers has got, he's almost a 50-40-80 guy. 49% from the field, 41% from three, 84% from the stripe entering play.
Yeah, knocked those down very coolly, and Stanford back in that lead now, 29-27. These are two teams that put up 88 points in their last games, and they really haven't got anything going offensively.
Reverse layup by Johnson. No offensive rebound. Spillers, and two shots coming.
Yeah, they came in down low, didn't block out, tried to jump with them, and Spillers going to win that battle every time. That's a young, long, athletic young man.
So Kammen's second foul. That's now 4 Stanford players with 2 fouls in this first half. Spillers last year at App State averaged a double-double in conference. That was his first D1 season, began in the junior college ranks.
Coach Ford called 4 of his guys the back court. I'd be interested to see if Wake doesn't try to put on a little trap here in this final 137 to try to get a turnover before the end of the half.
Spillers more than halfway to his 5th double-double of the season, 6 points, 6 rebounds in the opening half. Sellers accelerates and uses the window.
Well, they went right through that press like a cookie cutter. I tell you what, you get out of that press real quick and you can get a transition bucket, and it left everybody in their wake, so to speak.
11 for Sellers. Sallis off the tip.
Sallis just so good at putting that ball on the floor, getting anywhere on the floor that he wants to. Starts on the right side of the lane, finishes on the left.
He's got 10 after the slow start. Lakes and Sellers have 22 of Stanford's 31, 11 apiece. Akpara finds a cutting Sellers. Beautiful ball movement. And Steve Forbes calls a timeout. They use it or lose it timeout. We'll take a quick one as well. Less than 50 seconds to go in the opening half. Oziyah Sellers has scored the last 9 for Stanford, looking for its first ACC road win. Wake unbeaten at home, and if you're Kyle Smith, the Stanford head coach, boy, Maxime Raynaud, one of the best players in the ACC, in foul trouble for most of the half, picked up his second foul with 12 minutes plus to go, and you got a chance to take a lead into halftime.
Yeah, Sellers and Blakes, as you said, been fantastic, and that's what you need. You need guys to step up. That's a sign of a good team. When their star goes down or is facing a little adversity, they step up and perform. Now a stop at a bucket be huge going to the locker room.
Stanford looks to be in a zone. Sallis lost it. Blake's leading the break. And he's got 13. The backcourt for Stanford with 26 in the opening half.
Wow. Big turnover by Wake Forest. Those live ball turnovers now. That's with 6 straight points all in the paint for Stanford here to end the half.
10-0 and fast break points. Sallis contested pull-up. He's got a dozen to lead Wake. Final ticks. Sellers heaves, and it doesn't go, but Stanford takes the lead going into halftime.
Yeah, it wasn't great basketball, but either side, both teams played hard.
Who is that guy for you?
Well, Cam Hildreth was been the guy the last game against Miami where he went for 31 points. He knocked down 6 triples. He was absolutely fantastic in practice on Monday. It has not carried over to the game in the first half. Let's see if he can get himself off the launch pad here in the second half.
And Hildreth just 1 for 7 in the opening half, but comes up with a steal.
He makes a big defensive play. Sometimes that's the thing that gets your offensive game going.
And they forgot about him, and Hildreth had a wide open 3 and then fouled, a freshman mistake by Donovan Young.
Well, they're struggling from behind the arc, and Cam has not been able to get one to go. I understand closing out on the shooter, but running into him kind of after his shot, knocking him to the floor. So it's going to be side out of bounds. They avoided the cardinal mistake of putting him on the line for 3 freebies.
Yeah, they really like Donovan Young from Pasco, Washington, one of the Tri-Cities, along with Kennewick and Richland. Reed backing down Raynaud, and that's a smart move there by Reed. You know he's got the 2 fouls, go right at him.
Yeah, Coach Forbes called that play right from the bench, like a good coach would. Say, hey, you know this kid does not want to get an early 3rd foul on him. Let's go right at him.
9 points for Efton Reed. Last year, when Reed was eligible and the 2-time transfer rule was waived, it changed the arc, the trajectory of Wake's season. Ultimately, Deacs lost a couple of games down the stretch on the road. They had some early scars. But if you watch that team last year with Efton Reed in the lineup, it looked like a Sweet 16 team to me. And I think the rest of the ACC, with what they did in the tournament, justified that Wake should have been in the dance a year ago.
Yeah, look, they're going right back to Reed on Raynaud, inside again, and trying to get that 3rd foul. But yeah, 7'1", 250 pounds. I could see why he elevates a team's opportunities and success rate.
Averaged about 10 points, a little less than 8 rebounds last year. Numbers a bit lower this year. He and Spillers both back to the basket, low post players. You had Andrew Carr last year, more of a stretch 4, which gave Reed more room down low. Hildreth going right on Raynaud, who held his ground. And the Frenchman scoops up the loose ball.
Yeah, great job of playing long and big around the basket without permitting the foul. I mean, what they got to do is get Raynaud involved offensively now. You got him on the floor. You got to take advantage of his minutes. Get him going. He's only got the 2 points.
And remember, Reed has 2 fouls as well. Blakes recovers. Agarwal, the corner 3, raises the rim.
Don't understand why they don't just run a little turn 5, post up the big guy, and let him hop away.
I was going to ask, are you surprised how few touches Raynaud's been getting on offense? As Spillers gives Wake its first lead of the night.
Yeah, using their length around the basket to going inside. Reed and Spillers and just trying to overpower. They were fantastic at points in the paint. 7-0 advantage points in the paint.
Raynaud, catch and release. The ACC's leading scorer from deep.
Yeah, went over and talked to his parents during the halftime break. They weren't all smiles, but that big 3-point shot, they're going to put a big smile on their face. I asked them where they're from. They said they're from Paris. You ever been to Paris?
I have. Favorite city in the world, City of Lights.
I got to get there.
Hildreth, no. Rebound Young. Vanessa and Philippe, his parents, in the building tonight. Agarwal, Raynaud, hang it in the Louvre.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was just saying he got to get the big fella the ball down on the block. He said, hey, I don't care what you're talking about, Williams. I'm going to step out behind the arc and knock down a couple triples. And he grabs, snatches a rebound.
Yeah, leads the ACC in points and rebounding. And you're Stanford, don't you got to feed him? He's the hot hand right now. Agarwal with an open look. That doesn't go. Yeah. Sallis the board.
I don't like that shot by Agarwal. I know you're wide open, but you just had the 9th leading scorer in the nation, knocked out a couple triples. Feed him the ball, the basketball. You're on the road trying to get a victory. Ride him while he's hot. Look at Raynaud, just does a nice job. You see how he gets his feet set early before the ball finds him? He's already on balance, on target. And then this one again. After you visualize that ball going through the hoop, the basketball, it gets as big as a hula hoop, and you knock down back-to-back triples.
3rd foul on Ryan Agarwal. Raynaud already with 6. As Hildreth gets the free throw, 6 points in the second half. And you watch Maxime Raynaud, everybody talks about Cooper Flagg being the breakout star of the ACC, and rightfully so.
Sure.
42 last week, ACC freshman record. He's made Duke arguably the favorite to win it all in the end. Maybe the favorite right now for player of the year, but Maxime Raynaud, who had a pretty good season in the Pac-12 for Stanford, has made quite the introduction to the ACC audience if you've watched him play.
Well, again, great footwork, great touch, great vision, good hands. He's not as stiff at 7'1". He's very mobile and agile. Look at him trying to go to work here on Reed. Well, he walked.
They're going to get a foul on the floor.
Oh, they're going to say Reed pulled them off balance, and Reed's going to pick up his third personal foul, and that is huge. You be the judge.
Did that right hand hook underneath Raynaud?
Did it hook because Raynaud slammed into him and he had to hold on for dear life?
Well, Raynaud's not a checkers player. He is a excellent chess player. Raynaud again, too strong. And we get a foul. It's going to be on Jalen Blakes, his second.
Well, they got Reed out of there after he picked up that foul. But I was curious if Raynaud, knowing that he got that foul, that he wouldn't just go back inside again. He decided to try to come back and shoot another triple. He's been hot. Maybe a bit of a heat check. But when you're that long and you can put that much pressure on the defense around the basket, and with his passing ability, I know the double team's coming, but he can pass right over the top of the defense and find one of his hot shooters.
Johnson, the lob. Harris above the rim.
The high handoff, you gotta love it. Gets everybody's butts up out of the seats. And after Raynaud hit a couple triples, it was getting kind of quiet in here until that play.
If you're Stanford now, are you going straight to 42?
Gotcha.
There he is, Raynaud, another three. Offensive rebound, Blakes puts it up toward the rim. And now Wake will push with Tyler Johnson. Hildreth against Raynaud, who used that 7-1 frame.
Yeah, look at the Eiffel Tower trying to shoot that one around. He was so long, right? Got those long arms up in the air. Look at him posting up strong down.
Gieler, no good. Rebound to Johnson again.
I don't keep harping on it, but I don't think the Stanford team is doing themselves any favor by not getting the ball inside first to the big man.
Offensive foul on Wake Forest and Tyler Johnson.
Well, you get the defense looking one way, and you sneak a ball player along the baseline for the jam. I'm over here in Central Park. Come find me. I play a little chess.com myself, partner. I got to challenge these guys to a game.
Once I get into my castle, then I don't know what to do, but Raynaud certainly does. You saw what he could do in the weight room. Comp sci major, math minor, chess player, and then you throw in the personality and the flair of a D'Artagnan. Well, he can wear about as many masks as Monte Cristo. You know, passer, shooter, shot blocker, scorer, rebounder.
Look at this one more time. Well, you want to be able to move when your pieces around the board. Well, Coach Smith does a nice job drawing this one up out of the timeout. They said, no more he's shooting these three-point shots. Let's feed our big man down low and let him go to work. That time the King had his way down in the paint.
Blake's just picked up his third foul. Stanford has led most of this game. That's what Spillers does best.
Spillers just like big body, right? He just threw that right shoulder right into the defender with that little left-hand hook. It looked like Raynaud was thinking about maybe coming over and blocking the shot. Said, nah, it's not worth picking up a third foul, trying to come over the top of one of my own teammates.
10 points, 8 rebounds for Tre'Von Spillers. This is Oziyah Sellers.
You know I like Spillers, right? 8.8 rebounds per game.
Sellers puts it up, not buying. Offensive rebound, Raynaud. Back to Sellers. Second chance. Raynaud down low. Feathery touch, and he's up to a dozen, 10 in the second half.
Yeah, and how about the extra pass by Oziyah Sellers right there to his big guy, right? Just saying, we got to get this guy going. Bucket inside last time. Let me spoon feed my big man underneath for an easy two and give us the lead.
Called Sallis' name in a moment. Juke Harris, 2 shots.
Well, nice movement without the basketball. And as you said, Sallis' name, he's the one that gave Harris that ball. And Juke's just one of these crafty little ball players for a freshman, just kind of figuring things out, where he needs to be on the floor to try to gain an advantage. And talked about Sellers, 23.5 points per game over his last 5 in the ACC action, but the willingness to give the ball up to one of his teammates, you know, that's the Coach Forbes culture.
You mentioned Juke Harris has become a real key reserve, and Wake is hoping to get another big reinforcement Saturday against Virginia Tech. Omaha Ballou, the Iowa State transfer, former 5-star, former McDonald's All-American. You see him in the black shirt on the bench. He might be ready to come off the bench and give Steve Forbes 10, 12 minutes this weekend.
Yeah, Coach said we could get a look at that, get him a scan either today or tomorrow, and if everything looks good, then he's going to be able to go on the road.
He's been out since mid-November with a foot injury and getting close to the end of that timeline, 8 to 10 weeks. Agarwal now has missed a few wide-open threes, but on cleanup duty, Maxime Raynaud.
Yeah, Agarwal's working hard, but he's hurting him. But Maxime Raynaud is doing a good job flexing inside.
Hildreth, a chance at the line.
That's exactly what Hildreth needs. He's been on the struggle bus, right? Unable to get going. Same one of those guys in the second half that's got to pick up his game. Best way to do it is get yourself to the free throw line.
Par the foul, and that last rebound by Raynaud gives him his NCAA Division I leading 14th double-double. This is Stanford's 17th game. Cam Hildreth's numbers from Miami over the weekend.
Yeah, you see those 6 threes. So that's what we were talking about, right? Like, they just could not shoot the ball from the outside. And I think that Cam's got to be that guy that can find his stroke. And like I say, you get to that free throw line, practicing your stroke in games. One thing to do at halftime, but one other thing to do when your heart's pumping, the adrenaline going, you knock a couple down from the free throw line, does a tremendous lift to your confidence.
Sellers from 18. Raynaud tipped it to Hildreth.
Well, Raynaud was coming over the back there. It was questionable whether or not that could have been one of his 3rd fouls.
Sallis has not scored in the second half. Out of control, and he traveled.
Yeah, you were just saying he hadn't scored, right? So he's going to use his wheels and try to get to the basket or draw some contact. But he has driven the ball early in both halves ineffectively, almost like he's trying too hard to get the contact, and he's getting himself out of control and off balance.
Only the 5th turnover for Wake. Raynaud with 14 and 10. Keeler will shoot 2.
You know, Keeler hasn't got the numbers offensively. This kid, I told you in practice on Tuesday, did not miss the shot. But then again, there's another little crafty move by Keeler, just driving it hard to the basket, gets that body contact. He just flipped that thing up to make sure he was going to get a chance to go to the line.
Keeler 19 of 20 at the line this season. Announcer Jinx. Saturday's ACC Network basketball triple header. You and I will be in Blacksburg for Wake Forest, Virginia Tech. Real tough start with a lot of personnel turnover from Mike Young. Virginia Tech starting to play better of late. Notre Dame has Marcus Burton back. They visit struggling Syracuse, and Cal is just down the road to take on NC State in Raleigh. Hildreth's pass knocked away. Who else? Raynaud.
Just using his length defensively now, playing a little bit loose and free on the defensive end. Now that he's got those 2 fouls, look at that slash around the basket. That's where I want to see that young man Ryan live. Not out there behind the arc. Put the pressure on the defense and take it to the rack.
Harris. Offensive rebound, put back, Spillers.
Yeah, one of the easiest ones Spillers going to get all season long because Raynaud mistimed his jump. He thought that ball was going to hit the rim once. It ended up bouncing off the rim a couple times. Left Spillers wide open. Spillers having some game.
Well, Wake still hanging around, down by 2. Sellers blocked.
Sellers can't believe this. I made a $1 million move along his baseline and he's slapped my shot away.
Sallis pulls up. His first basket of the second half. And we're tied at 50.
Wow, nice job by Sallis. He was so out of control outside. That's a better job of getting himself on balance and pulling up for the jumper.
Timeout with 11:05 to go in the second half. The Joel coming to life. Philippe and Vanessa Raynaud, Maxime's parents, and we said it at the top of the broadcast. If there was no Cooper flag in the ACC this year, Maxime Raynaud right now would be the runaway favorite for ACC Player of the Year. Last 5 guys to lead the league in scoring and rebounding have gone on to win Player of the Year.
Yeah, one of my old teammates, Horace Grant, on that list in 1987, took it to me and J.R. Reed. We couldn't do anything, would they, Horace?
That was pre-goggles. Agarwal along the baseline with a little hesitation. Stanford back on top, and they need that. You saw the graphic. Raynaud doing the heavy lifting in the second half. Not much help.
Yeah, no, that's the second basket by anybody other than Raynaud. It's been Agarwal twice now in that painted area. You think Coach Smith didn't yank his chain and said stop shooting them those threes and get your booty inside?
Sallis gets separation, but he is so good from that mid-range game. I know that's frowned upon by the analytics folks, but that's an arrow in his quiver that he needs to shoot.
Not by me. I'm a 90s kid. I love the mid-range game. You got to be able to knock that one down and keep the defense honest.
Akpara over Harris for 2.
Yeah, Coach Smith told his team no more outside shots. We are going to be aggressive and taking the ball to the basket. If you shoot the ball from the outside, you can come over here and sit by me and watch. He's got 5 guys out there now that are hungry to attack the paint.
Yeah, 23 paint points for Stanford, 24 for Wake. Deacs had a season-high 50 paint points in the win against Miami Saturday. Shot clock at 5. And Gieler picks up his 3rd foul.
Yeah, that's the 7th team foul, so we'll have some free throws for Wake Forest. Sallis when we come back.
Tell him the song was ready before I was born. Ready, set.
He is the biggest star in college basketball, Cooper flag, and this might be the easiest guess who of all time.
Yeah, listen, I don't like to give a lot of those Duke guys a lot of credit, but I absolutely would pay to go see Cooper flag perform. And you could see those numbers there, and you couldn't tell who would be the ACC Player of the Year based on those numbers. And you put the side by side with Raynaud and Flag, and you help to see that Raynaud's got better numbers there, Pards.
Flag does play for the number 3 team in the country, and there have been a lot of games where Flag has not had to play late, where he could have inflated those numbers too.
I see what you're talking about there. Yeah, and I do agree.
As somebody who did college football this fall with Andre Ware, who in his '89 Heisman season spent most of the second half and a lot of fourth quarters on the bench because his team was up by 50.
I understand. And listen, they're thinking big picture at the University of Duke, right? So they want a national championship. And if they can save some minutes on Flag now, as Raynaud turns the ball over, they're going to take advantage of putting him on the bench late in games that are already blown out.
Steal there by Johnson. Efton Reed back in with the 3 fouls, setting the screen. Sallis leaning in over Blake, Stanford's best perimeter defender.
Well, Sallis has got some bunnies because he hung in the air as the defense was coming down. He got a cleaner look at that basket, putting Wake back on top, and this place is going bananas.
Crowd on its feet. Akpara. Blocked by Spillers.
And Spillers with a nasty growl after he blocked that one.
Hildreth rolls out. This place was ready to erupt.
The lid might come off this basket. They can get a stop here in the bucket. Wake Forest is working hard right now. These last 3 minutes, they've been the harder working team on the floor.
Blakes and Sellers scoreless in the second half. after scoring 13 apiece in the first half. They get it to Raynaud. There's the double team. Akpara weaving inside and slips it in.
Well, you know, I was complaining about some of the outside shots, but now they're attacking the basket. Closing the gap on those points in the paint. Oh, they let Sallis get away.
Sallis against Raynaud.
This is becoming a battle of wills right now. Who wants it the most? Who's got the most heart and desire in this final 7:45 to get this victory?
Moving screen.
Well, sometimes you gotta get creative when the big guy comes out you. You will show a step through, little backhand Chicago style off the backboard and in the bucket.
Anish Shroff, Scott Williams, these are your Player of the Year candidates, and it's time for the stars now. Raynaud and Sallis, both among the top 4 scorers in the league as well.
Yeah, you know, I had to throw Carolina guy on there, but I love Stojakovic's boy there, what he's doing out there in Cal, over 20 points per game. But it has been the stars here. And this is going to be fun to watch here in this final 7:35. You got Raynaud with 12 points here in this second half, and Sallis with 10 points. So Stars are about to take over.
Sallis wants it. He's got 22. Agarwal denies him. 6 straight 20-point games for Sallis. Tyler Johnson leaning in, and this is Wake's largest lead of the game.
Yeah, it's been close. Neither team has been able to jump out to a double-digit advantage. Little Stanford had a 9 early, but it has been all Wake here this last 4 minutes as they've stolen the momentum and they've taken the lead. Sellers, the drive and kick.
Agarwal down low.
How many
Took
times?
a shot to the nose.
Ryan Tough fought basket along that baseline. He's got 3 of those here in the second half where he's just put his will into the defense and said, you cannot stop me, and I'm going to the basket.
He's got a dozen. There's Johnson. Got that great first step, and now it's Sallis, marked by an outstanding defender in Blakes. Reed was setting the screen. Sallis doesn't need it.
Good D, but better O, and Sallis has gotten hot now. 12 points here in the second half, giving 24 for the game, trying to put the team on its back.
Got a little swagger in his step. Raynaud, double came quickly. Sellers for 3, got it. His first basket of the second half. He's got 16.
Yeah, he had been missing in action for the first 14 minutes of this second half, and like you said, they finally did a nice job playing through Sellers. Let that double team come, and then they got to try to scramble to find the shooters, and they could not find Sellers on that right wing.
Johnson's picked up his dribble in the paint. Sallis again. Reed sets the screen. Sallis, pass down low, and one. Tre'Von
Spillers has been a man amongst boys, going in that painted area for bucket after bucket, and that's twice now. Sellers has found his teammates cutting along the basket or into the paint and gotten them some easy opportunities. So if he's not scoring the ball, he is spoon-feeding his mates for easy, high percentage shots. That's why the reason they're shooting over 50% here in the second half.
The foul is on Aiden Kamen, redshirt freshman from Andover, Massachusetts, his 4th, and it's the 9th team foul on Stanford, so Wake in the double bonus from here on out. Meanwhile, the Demon Deacons only have 3 team fouls, so that's something to watch with 5.5 left. Raynaud on the bench getting a quick breather. Who steps up for Stanford?
It'll be a good play. I like Raynaud going inside for another bucket. Here goes Blakes to the basket.
Kamen for 2.
That's the second time now Blakes has made that extra pass, interior passing to a higher percentage shot. Got ourselves a 1-point game with just over 5 minutes to play. This is a good one, Pards. This is a real good one.
With 24. Has not touched it on this possession. 10 to shoot. Spillers, the southpaw. He's got 16.
Spillers is doing his darn thing. He has brought everything in his toolbox. Right hand, left hand, power shots, and one. 16 and 9.
How about this? Both teams have hit their last 4 shots. Blake, strong drive, puts it up. A double-double for Spillers. Sallis. You get the sense of basket here. And this place explodes. 15 to shoot.
Goose Brahma pulls down on his left block. Down.
Reed. Young brought the double. Reed almost walked. Spillers inside. He's got 18.
Spillers is putting on a show, and Coach Smith needs a timeout, and he takes a timeout.
Wake with its largest lead. 4:01 left in regulation. Tre'Von Spillers has scored the last 6 for Wake Forest. The Deacs have made their last 6 shots, and Sallis and Spillers have been doing the heavy lifting in the second half.
Yeah, they really have. And look at the numbers on 11 of 12 shooting, so very efficient on top of getting those 24 points.
Raynaud checks back in for Stanford.
Well, that's where you got to go, right? Like they Stanford pulled away with Raynaud on the bench. You got to go back to Raynaud, play through him.
How about the high-low feed? The big guy finds the cutting Agarwal.
Well, you know, all the attention goes to Raynaud every time he gets his hands on the ball. Wake Forest has been programmed to double team, and so you start ball watching, and you send somebody for a backdoor cut. Excellent use of the timeout by Coach Smith and his staff.
They finally get it to Sallis. Shot fake. Shot clock at 5. Guarded by Sellers. Sallis over Sellers, hits!
Well, you can't play any better D than Sellers did, but Sallis, he's smiling. He realizes, hey, I am on fire. Give me my 6th field goal of the second half.
27. Wednesday is for the Hunter. Agarwal. Blakes. Now Raynaud. Clear path. Missed the dunk.
Oh, Raynaud had a wide open lefty jam and couldn't finish it. That was a big miss with a 6-point game with 2:40 to play. They needed that bucket. They got to get a stop here.
Wake can make it a 3-possession game. Largest lead of the night for the Deacs. Sallis has 27. Make it 29 with a chance for 30.
Well, you hit a big 3. Everybody comes up on you, trying to run you off that 3-point line. And I have said it all night long. The kid's got the ability to put the ball on the floor and go anywhere. But this one, up against the shot clock, great defense. I'm just going to throw it a little higher in the air and let it fall softly through the basket. And look at that. Split the double team, catch the defender in the restricted area, have the concentration to finish the play.
You played in the 90s with a guy who wore the same jersey as Hunter Sallis, who in crunch time you could throw him the ball and he was going to get to the foul line or he was going to get to 2.
Yeah, and then put the team on his back and lead them to victory. And that's exactly, I don't ever want to compare any college kid to the number 23 in the Chicago Bulls. But Hunter Sallis right now, he is getting it done to be certain.
4th foul on Wake. Johnson's 3rd. And Blakes will get 2 free throws. Still only the 5th team foul.
Well, a chance to get to that line, score some points with that game clock stop. So, again, we've seen the Cardinal attack inside a lot here in the second half, and that was a smart one by Blakes because he has not been able to get much tonight going here in this second half.
He had 13 at halftime, has not scored in the second half. He and Sellers did the heavy lifting in the first half. had the 2 fouls, gets the free throw. We remind you, Saturday at noon on ESPN, top 10 matchup at Rupp, Alabama visiting Kentucky.
And my old teammate, Mark Pope, head coach now at Kentucky. How about the job he has done?
They take over for John Calipari, who left for Arkansas, and Kentucky's got a top 10 squad this year, although they have not lost to Clemson, which is one of the few non-conference banners the ACC's been able to hang. Lob for Reed, blocked from behind by the 6'5" Sellers.
What a defensive play by Sellers. What looked like a short two before Reed gets swatted away.
Looking for Raynaud, pass stolen away.
Yeah, let him too much. You got to get a bucket there when you're down by 3 possessions. You got to find a way. Now you got to get a stop. And look at Wake Forest trying to use a little of that game clock.
Johnson launches. That's not his shot at all. And Steve Forbes calling for a timeout. And I think Steve Forbes is beside himself with plenty of time on the shot clock. A mistake by Johnson, but possession still with Wake. With about 13 seconds on the shot clock, Tyler Johnson, who was 6 of 25 from 3 coming in, 19% a year ago, launches a 3, doesn't come close, and Steve Forbes on the sideline threw his hands up and started screaming, timeout, timeout. Gotta resettle, gotta regroup. 7-point lead, less than 90 seconds to go. And you look at Wake's numbers the last 3 games, slow first half, they've picked it up since halftime.
Yeah, Johnson's been good, but that's not exactly what Coach Forbes wants him to do. You see the 51% field goal shooting with him out there leading this charge now, being able to get guys like Cam and Hunter going. But Coach Forbes was beside himself. He was bent his mind. He couldn't get that timeout called quick enough. Settle this young fellow down and trying to get a field goal here in the last 11 seconds of this game. Shot clock.
We always enjoy our visits with Steve Forbes.
He's the best.
Unfiltered, honest, authentic. Johnson puts it on the floor. That's for his speed.
Well, that's exactly right. Great timeout by Coach Forbes. Settle his team down, push that lead back at the 9, keep Johnson under control. Raynaud with a big triple. I don't know what the French word is for air ball, but I think these Demon Deacon faithful are letting him know exactly what he did there. Well, they got a trap, they got a foul, do something here to get the ball out of the hands of Wake Forest.
And Wake is a superb free throw shooting team. And Hildreth, 82% to the stripe.
Well, just not enough on the road down the stretch to stop Sallis. The kid was absolutely fantastic. I think Stanford, there's still 51 seconds left to go in this one. They're down by 9, could be 11 after these couple of free throws, but they don't have the depth. They made some silly plays in a crucial stretch of this second half with Raynaud on the bench. They got to play more through Raynaud if they're going to get a win in Chapel Hill on Saturday.
And it makes you wonder, did they just get worn down late in this game? Because Wake started really to pull away last 6-7 minutes of the second half. Otherwise, pretty close game much of the night. For Wake Forest, net ranking at number 80. Joe Lunardi has his own rankings. So for context, SMU is in his next 4-out group. Entering tonight, SMU was at 75. Wake at 88 as that one doesn't come close. So Wake, with a win tonight, if they beat Virginia Tech on Saturday, it's not going to help their resume, but losses to either of those teams could hurt them as Sallis tries to corral it. They don't blow the whistle. Then you've got the opportunity games with Carolina, Duke, Louisville, and Pitt. Carolina quad 2, which could be quad 1 by the end of the year. The other 3 as of now, all quad 1. Wake has a very real chance over the next few weeks to play themselves right back into the NCAA tournament conversation.
I 100% agree. And not only are they playing well, they play hard. And I saw it in practice on Monday, and even when they were down and struggling to score here, shooting under 40% in the first half, they don't splinter. They continue to work, and like you said, you nailed it. They wore Stanford down here tonight.
And Hunter Sallis, 30 points, 18 in the second half. He and Tre'Von Spillers down the stretch, shoulders as broad as Atlas, put this team on their backs.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Spillers because he was absolutely fantastic. He picks up that steal. Wake will dribble out the clock with his double-double, 18 and 10, with three huge field goals to put Wake up for good.
Hunter Sallis on a 6-game heater. 6 straight 20-point games. He went for the big 3-0, 30 tonight. Wake remains unbeaten.